Hello, hi all. How are you doing this afternoon? It is about 5 minutes after 2 p.m. in Lima, and we are starting another cooking session. So I really hope you enjoyed this one because I'm going to be cooking today with my brother again here in my kitchen in Lima, Peru. And we are also recording this to share on our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel. So if you're able to jump into this video after the live stream finish, no worries, you can see this full video since beginning until the end in our especially YouTube channel. So well, today we're going to have the chance of cooking quinoa. Quinoa is one of the most nutritious, most important products of export that we sell to the world, that we Peruvians, also Bolivians export. And now, well, it's a product that can be produced in other parts of the world, not just in South America. But it is original from here, from the high plateau, from near the Titicaca Lake. So that's why this is a pride of Peruvians and also Bolivians. Nowadays, many vegetarians use quinoa as a supplement to, let's say, avoid having certain issues with deficiency in terms of protein. So this is a complete vegetarian vegetable protein that you are going to, since this opportunity we are teaching you, start introducing in your diet. So well, today we are going to prepare something very, very simple. It is a basic way of preparing quinoa, and we are going to do this, well, once again here in my kitchen with the help of my brother. So in a moment I'm going to show you my kitchen again and also my brother. But if you have any comment, please let me know there in the comment section. I'm going to be, after I finish this video, I'm going to jump into the Facebook group to see your questions, to see your comments, and if there's any doubt, well, just leave it there. I'm going to be reaching out to you soon. Okay, so this is an event I am organizing especially for my Facebook group. Hopefully you are going to enjoy this type of activities, but not just cooking classes, also other activities I'm going to be preparing for you outside in the streets of Lima. Focus more in history and also culture. Okay, so now let me show you the kitchen. So, well, this is Luis Alberto. Hola.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
And today we are going to cook quinoa. So, first of all, what are we going to be needing, Luis Alberto? ¿Qué vamos a necesitar en esta ocasión?
Ya, bueno, el día de hoy vamos a preparar una quinoa atamalada con hígado de res a la plancha, frito.
So today we're going to be cooking a quinoa, but the style we're going to be making it is atamalado. So if you have heard before the word tamal or tamales, it has a relation because the base of the flavor is also pretty much the same one we use for the tamales. So we're going to be, let's say, mixing the tamales flavor with the quinoa. It's going to be very flavorful. And also on top, we're going to be adding, to add extra nutrition, the fried beef liver. This is something very traditional here in Peru. By the way, this is not a vegetarian, let's say, menu we have today. It is going to be for people that eat meat. So we're going to first start with the part of the quinoa, and then we're going to be doing the liver. Les expliqué acerca de que para los amigos que no son vegetarianos, vamos a usar carne en esta ocasión, así que lo tengan en cuenta. Okay, so let's start with this interesting recipe. And please, Luis Alberto, ¿qué hacemos primero? ¿Qué necesitamos?
Ya, para elaborar lo que es la quinoa atamalada, vamos a mostrar los ingredientes.
Okay, the ingredients are?
Primero, bueno, esta es la quinoa.
This is quinoa. So look at the cereal. If this is the first time you are seeing it, quinoa usually comes in this color. When you go to supermarkets, you can buy this one. sometimes they are in different colors, red and black. But this one, the golden color, when you boil it, it ends like this. So we boiled first. Nosotros hervimos primero la quinoa,
Sí,
¿verdad?
sancochamos.
Ajá. So we boil, we sancochamos. Sancochamos is a word we use a lot in Latin America when we boil things. So it's pre-boiled.
Es pimiento. Vamos a usar también pimiento y pimiento en tiras.
Okay, so for the cooking style we have today of the quinoa, we're going to use bell pepper. So this is the bell pepper. This is not hot. It's just flavorful. And once you open it, you can see how it looks inside, right? It's like this. We are going to use the red part of the bell pepper.
Vamos a usar queso mantecoso.
We are going to use also cheese. And this is mantecoso. This is not a hard cheese. It's actually very, very soft. So if you can find something similar where you live, that would be super, because it's going to be all melt and mix with the quinoa. Okay?
Vamos a usar una cebolla.
We are going to use one onion, one red onion, cebolla roja. Okay.
Vamos a usar un poco de leche.
We will need also a dash of milk, a bit of milk, cow's milk.
Vamos a usar pan o también puede ser galleta de soda.
We will use in this recipe bread. We call this bread pan francés. This is French bread. This is how we call it. But you can replace this by crackers, by soda crackers or saltines.
No, explícales que no importa que el pan sea fresco, o sea, puede ser pan que tienen guardado también.
It can be also a bread that is not of the day, it's not fresh. It can be, the one you used yesterday or a couple of days ago. So it doesn't need to be fresh from the day, okay? Okay?
Culantro.
We will need coriander.
Vamos a usar culantro fresco.
Fresh.
Y bueno, sal, pimienta.
Salt, pepper, and well, the spices you usually like to add to your dishes, but salt and pepper will do also good enough. Okay.
Y ese es el hígado de res.
This is the beef liver, and in Latin America we eat a lot of this. This is highly nutritious product, very, very complete. I'm going to be also telling you a bit about the benefits of eating and consuming beef liver. So this is going to be also prepared during the cooking class. So, but first we're going to separate it into, put it in the fridge, and we will start. Muy bien. And also, Peruvians eat everything with rice. So we have, by the way, the rice over there. It's already made. It is boiled white rice. So basically, this is something you can skip if you don't like to have, like, for example, grains and grains, protein, but Peruvians love that. So we will serve this with white rice. Muy bien, Luis Alberto. Empezamos.
Listo. Bueno, para empezar, vamos a cortar la cebolla.
So we're going to start cutting the onion. And we use a lot of onion here in Peru. This is the land of the chili and also the land of the onion. And please take note on the products, the ingredients. We're going to be preparing approximately for 2 portions. Más o menos vamos a preparar para 2 porciones, ¿verdad, Luis Alberto?
Sí, vamos a hacer más o menos para 2 porciones. Lo que es el atamalado.
Perfecto. So we're going to be doing this recipe for approximately 2 portions, and of course that if you prefer, you can make a little bit less or a little bit more. So we are using 1 red onion, and we are chopping this red onion in big sort of like dice. See, so notice this. It doesn't have to be small. And the red onion has lots of benefits, by the way. It's an antioxidant, so it's a really, really good product to be added into your kitchen. So now we are going to blend the onions. Remember that onions also can be used in fighting cancer, and it has antibacterial properties.
Vamos a echarle un poco de agua para que suelte nada más.
We are going to add a bit of water for it to, like be more like creamy. So what we're going to do is making it like a paste. Casi como una pasta, ¿verdad?
Sí.
We are making this or converting this onion into a paste, which is going to be pretty much the base of the flavor.
Esto va a ser para el aderezo y luego lo combinamos con el atamalado.
This is going to be for the part we call the aderezo. Aderezo is the base of the flavor. Most of the Peruvian dishes have aderezo. Yes, many people in other parts of the world don't know or don't use the onion in their foods as much as we do. So look at this. We have made or converted this into a paste. And it's just in a matter of few minutes ready. So this is just red onion, one red onion and water. So what is coming next is making this aderezo. And aderezo is not the same like dressing, for example. No, it sounds similar, but it's not. Dressing is what you use, I think, for salads. You do like a topping for the salads. But in our case, this is something that has to go to be fried. So look at this. This is the onion cream. It's like a cream of onion. And we will next, like do something really interesting. So remember that for this recipe, it will be done in few minutes, but you need to have ready your rice and you need to have ready your quinoa. See, because quinoa takes a while to be made, to be boiled. Okay, so it has to be pretty much like this. Gracias. And it has to be, and my brother is crying because everybody knows that onions have a very strong smell that makes you cry. So be careful with that. The pimiento, in Spanish, in Peruvian Spanish, we also call it pimentón or pimiento. This is bell pepper. So notice that we are, like using pretty much one and a bit more of bell pepper, but notice how much he's using. So he's going to cut the bell pepper, in, once again, like cubes. Como en cubitos lo estás cortando, ¿no?
Vamos a cortarlo en cortes irregulares.
Irregular.
Vamos a licuarlo también.
Irregular cuts, because, as my brother says, we are going to blend also this bell pepper. We're going to make also a paste of this. So the quinoa, many people say that quinoa has, a flavor that is not of their taste, because it's a new product. Many people don't know what to do with it, how to use it. I've heard when I used to have lots of travelers with me in Peru, like they were interested in learning about the Peruvian cuisine, that they had no idea how to cook quinoa. So that's why we were thinking in giving you some alternatives to say impulse you, motivate you to include quinoa in your weekly like meal plan if possible. So what we are doing is chopping the coriander. In Spanish, in Peruvian Spanish is culantro. ¿Cuánto más o menos, Luis Alberto, de culantro?
Es así un puñadito que...
Okay, just a handful, more or less. Puñado is handful of culantro or coriander. So all of these two mixed together, and they will go both to the blender. So we're going to be adding a bit of water. And we will now cover this. And if you don't have a little bit of water, it will be very hard for your blender to blend. You have to be patient. It takes some time to do. You can also, like do this with patience. And we will be doing also something nice to moist this mix. We're going to add milk. How much of milk? ¿Cuánto de leche más o menos?
Es unos 3 sorbos más o menos.
Okay, so some couple of dashes approximately just to moist the cream. And look how much it's changing the blending. Thanks to the milk, it's being done much faster. Wonderful. So it is going to be okay. Gracias. So now Luis Alberto has invited me to show you how it's starting to look the resulting. And you can see now inside the blender. So it's a really, nice, sort of like a cream that is emerging. It's not completely like a blend. It has still pieces. And this is because the next part is cheese. So the queso fresco is what we're going to... Queso mantecoso. Mantecoso. Sí. So it has the consistency of butter almost. We are using queso mantecoso. And approximately 100 grams.
Sí, vamos a echarle un poquito más de un queso casi vamos a echarle.
Okay, so we are adding 1 whole piece of this queso mantecoso, which is approximately 100 grams of queso mantecoso, approximately.
Sí, le vamos viendo cómo va, porque eso ahí va a ir el pan también.
So as we keep blending and blending, we add a little dash of milk. There is no exact measure in terms of, this recipe. Everything is eye measured. And we are adding pieces of bread in this moment.
El pan es para que agarre un poco de cuerpo, para que se ponga como que un poco más consistente.
The bread, my brother says, is to give a better consistency to the cream. A little bit of milk also. So at the end, My brother will be adding about 3/4 of a glass of milk, approximately. Can we see? ¿Podemos ver?
Sí.
Okay. Ajá.
Tiene que licuar bien el pan.
Okay, so the bread has to be well blended. It will take you some time, but you have to be patient in this part. Look how everything is integrating. Both colors, the green and the red, are mixed now.
Está bien, muy bien.
And va bien means it's good. Another piece of bread. How many pieces of bread? ¿Cuántos panes has echado?
Voy a echar solamente medio pan.
So it has been added about half French bread, as we call it. Y en galletas, ¿cuántas galletas serían más o menos? ¿Cuántas crees?
Medio paquete. Es que tienes que ir, es que, a ver, depende la cantidad que uno vaya a hacer, depende de la galleta que le va a poner, porque si nosotros vamos a hacer, por ejemplo, esta cantidad, no vamos a echarle medio pan, ni vamos a echarle medio paquete, sino vamos a galleta para que vaya agarrando cuerpo.
Fantástico. So he says that for this amount that we are preparing, about 4 crackers will be okay, like 4 saltines or soda crackers will be okay if you are just using crackers. Okay. So how is it going? It looks really good, and it smells really, really good too. So we are now doing this base because the flavor of the quinoa is going to be completely transformed into one that will have, you know, a little bit of the onion, the freshness of the coriander, and the bell pepper, which is also something lovely. As I was saying also, many travelers used to mention that quinoa, they knew it was highly nutritious, but they had no idea how to add flavor to quinoa because quinoa alone is not really that succulent. So we are going to be doing a series of cooking classes in which you will be able to learn to flavor your quinoa, even to make, for example, beverages of quinoa or other forms of quinoa for lunch or dinner. By the way, quinoa is a complete protein, and many people wonders if quinoa is a cereal or a grain. So there is sort of like confusion about the you know, like the value, what is quinoa and the nutritional values of quinoa. Also, quinoa, well, it's usually identified as a cereal, although many specialists say it is a grain. So this is really curious. I have also some interesting things to read to you. For example, quinoa is rich in fiber, is also rich in calcium, and is really good to control the amount of sugar in your blood. So if you're having problems, for example, of diabetes, quinoa would be a really good addition to your weekly plan, meal plan. So and it's gluten free, so well, that's really super. So now we are going to continue. And what are we doing now, Luis Alberto? ¿Qué estamos haciendo?
Ya, bueno, ahora que ya tenemos separado lo que es la cebolla y lo que es la crema, vamos a cortar un pimiento, o sea, el pimiento que hemos dejado, que es la cuarta parte del pimiento.
Uh-huh.
Vamos a cortarlo en tiras.
Okay, so as you know, in the beginning, we had about 1 bell pepper and a little bit more, right? So what we are doing now is approximately a quarter of a bell pepper, which is the extra piece we had. We are chopping it in long cuts, long stripes. And we are going to be using these stripes for the next part.
Le vamos a hacer un corte a la mitad.
And we're going to cut half. Uh-huh.
Como para que aumente, como para que suba un poquito más.
Uh-huh. And this is going to give an appearance of bigger amount also of bell pepper.
Listo.
Okay, and it will give also a really good color to the final product.
Vamos a ordenar.
Huh? Now we are turning on the stove, and the pan is starting to heat up. So this is going to be prepared in the pan. Remember that the quinoa is already cooked. It is there in the pot. So it has been cooked simple, only with water. I didn't add any salt, anything, because all the spices, all the flavor is going to be given to the quinoa here in the pan. Okay? And we have also, like our nice table with all the ingredients. This is such a simple meal that you can prepare at any time, in any occasion. So we are adding oil. Gracias, Luis Alberto. And the oil is cooking oil. We prefer here in Peru, when we fry things, when we cook, the vegetable oil.
Lo primero que vamos a echar va a ser la cebolla. Ahora va a salpicar, porque recuerden que lo hemos mezclado con el agua.
Okay, so first of all, here a warning from my brother. We are going first to fry the onion, the cream, this paste of onion. So what he is telling you all is that it's going to, like once you mix this with the oil, it's going to start, like splashing oil. So be careful. This is because, remember, we added water, right? So this is how it's going to be. It has to be done when the oil is hot, fast, not, adding by little drops, please, no. It will make things worse. It has to be all of the onion, all of the cream of onion.
Ahí vamos a dorar un poco. Vamos a esperar que se consuma el agua.
So we're going first to do the process of frying. In Spanish we say dorar. Dorar because it turns golden. When you fry something like onion, it turns golden. So we're going to fry this, and we're going to let the water evaporate a little bit. So look, how fast this is. We like to use red onions because the red onions are easy to figure when they are fried and ready, when they turn white. Okay, chef, what else? ¿Qué hacemos ahora?
vamos a ir separando esto acá,
Okay.
que es lo que hemos hecho ahorita, el atamalado.
Okay, and this is the cream that is going to give most of the flavor to the quinoa. This is what it will make it the quinoa atamalada. ¿No?
Ahora yo en lo personal no lo condimento cuando está acá, lo condimento acá. Porque
Okay.
cuando lo mezclo con la cebolla, de todas maneras va a haber un cambio de sabor, le va a faltar por ahí un poquito más.
Excellent. So he recommends you, because this is what he likes to do, to not add any like pepper or salt to that cream, you know, like before it goes to the pan, because when it is mixed with the onion, the flavors increase. So possibly if you add too much of something, you know, later you cannot correct. So better, no, to give the last taste and think in if it's good or needed to add salt or pepper, you know, in this point, in this moment. No? So he's going to cook for a little while. He has decreased a bit of the heat. It is not as hot. It used to be in maximum, but now he has decreased it a bit. Still is on fire, by the way.
Disculpa, le vamos a bajar porque no queremos que se consuma, que el líquido se evapore, se consuma.
Okay, so
queremos que sea jugoso.
he wants this to be juicy. So that's why in this point, he recommends you to decrease the heat of the stove. So in that way, you will not lose too much of the humidity. And he loves salt. Te gusta la sal, ¿no? He uses salt as much as he likes. Of course, this is completely optional in terms of how much you use salt. In Peru, we love salt, okay? But if you just want a little pinch, a bit, so that's okay. Start like tasting, you know, and we are adding also the pepper. And pepper is also to your taste, to taste. Muy bien. So in this point, he can finally know if is needed something else. He says it's okay. International signed for saying everything is great. And we are going to continue with something interesting. Look what my brother has in his hand. He's going to add a little bit of sugar, brown sugar in this case. ¿Por qué, Lucho? ¿Por qué agregas azúcar?
Hay un amarguito siempre, porque no vamos a dorarlo completamente. Entonces esto le da un sabor muy agradable, le da un sabor rico en realidad.
So he says that the sugar will intensify the flavor and is going to give a really nice final touch to the product. Most likely like a umami flavor that is now so in vogue. So it's going to be a really nice quinoa. Luis Alberto, ¿y tú crees que tiene que estar un poco subido de sal ya que vas a mezclarlo con la quinoa o tiene que estar en el punto?
Yo siempre trato de echarle, cuando hago los guisos aparte, siempre le echo un poquito más porque obviamente cuando uno prueba el guiso, cuando tú pruebas el guiso y aún no lo has mezclado, al momento de mezclarlo va a bajar.
So what I'm asking my brother is if he thinks that the level of salt in the mix we just finished in the pan, you know, the base of the flavor of the quinoa, if it's needed to add enough salt like for, you know, being ready, you know, to eat, or a little bit more. And he says that it will be better a little bit more because we're going to be mixing this soon with the quinoa, and the quinoa has no salt in it. So that's why a little bit extra salt will be okay. If not, you can add later.
Ahora, a lo que ha quedado, no lavamos la sartén de frente, sino le echamos un poquito de agua y la hacemos hervir, como para que termine de soltar todo lo que hay en la...
Excellent. So this is a trick from my grandma too. My grandma used to do this a lot. So we don't wash straight ahead the pan. You know, there's a little bit something in the bottom when you put everything on the container. So what he's doing is, you know, adding also a little bit of water. There's more flavor there. So he's adding water and he's, you know, like heating this up.
Esto tiene, si no me equivoco, el nombre de esto que estamos haciendo creo que es desgraciar. Es cuando ya terminas de hacer terminas de echar todo el guiso, por ejemplo, le echas agua y lo hierves un poquito para que termine de botar todo. So
this, what he says is that this is also a trick used a lot in cuisine, and he is just trying to extract most of the flavor of you know, like the substance that is in the pan, and, you know, take all of it and not, you know, like just wash it all. So now he's going to continue. He's preparing his pan for, you know, he's cleaning it now. And this is a last view of all of these ingredients. And we are going also soon to do something again. That's why he's washing the pan. We need to fry it also. More things. We need to fry the beef liver. But that's going to come in a moment still. Okay. So this is the product. It is turning a little bit greenish, yellow-green. It's an interesting mix, no? It has the mix of the red, the green. And now,
ahora lo que sigue es, vamos a saltear el pimiento.
Okay, now we are going to saute, to stir fry the bell pepper. And we are going to add the bell pepper at the end to the quinoa.
Esté bien caliente.
It has to be very, very hot, the pan. Kitchen is an art. You need to be not just, you know, good in the kitchen, like knowing the exact measures. There is something extra also that people have in their hands. I don't know, you know, that comes in you that makes you a good cook.
Ahora, aparte, vamos a cortar culantro.
We are going to cut a bit more of coriander, culantro. And he's using pretty much all. The stain, I think you call it, and the leaves. The stem, right? And the leaf. So we will cut this very fine. In the stem we have also the flavor. The leaves also contain lots of the flavor. So we will chop it very, very fine. Very thin and little. The pan still is in high temperature.
Ahora que ya está esto.
Okay, so now we are frying the bell pepper. We are adding salt.
Sal, para que sube un poco.
to make it sweat. Para que sude, that's how we call it.
Siempre cuando vamos a freír algo y queremos solamente que fríe y que no sube, no le echamos sal al principio. Al último sí. Pero si le echamos al principio va a empezar a transpirar, la comida y no va a freírse muy bien.
So this is also something you should keep in mind. If you want something you are frying, something that you are like, like sauteing to, to sweat, to exude the water, the humidity. If you want it, add salt in the beginning. If you don't want it, don't add salt in the beginning. So this is his trick also. So you can see it is all moist because of the salt. And also has a really nice flavor. As you can see, this dish is completely fusion cuisine. The onions came with the Spanish conquistadors. Different ingredients, also like the coriander, also were not native to this territory. But we have also the quinoa, for example, the different kinds of bales were already here. So this is a fusion dish. This is fusion cuisine. The rice also was introduced later after the conquest.
Ahora nos toca.
Once again, we are using the pan and we are going to do something really, really nice. We are going to add to this meal the beef liver.
Vamos a solamente sal.
We are just going to condiment with salt. Pinch of salt. So beef liver is known as one of the most nutritionally dense and complete foods. I know that in many parts of the world, people don't eat any more beef liver. But in Latin America, we still use it, we still consume it, we still love it. And it's even recommended, for example, when we have women pregnant. The women pregnant, they eat a lot of this. It has lots of benefits. Also, if you're coming out from a surgery, you need to recover your blood cells, for example, produce more hemoglobin. So it's really good to add beef liver. So this is also the idea, to give you some recommendations in terms of things you can add into your diet that are beneficial, and for the reasons also why it is beneficial. So for example, beef liver contains iron and vitamin B12. It also contains vitamin A, and it reduces risks of nutrient deficiency. We are going to heat up again the stove, and the idea is that the oil should be very hot for the liver not to stick to the pan. Okay? If you're not used to eating liver and you still want to add more protein to your dish, you can add anything that you prefer. Chicken, you can add beef also. So it's really up to you, or nothing. If you just want to keep it, vegetarian, you can just do the quinoa. Okay. Liver has also its own flavor that we Peruvians love. We don't need to disguise the flavor. It's actually very succulent. And in other occasions, I would love to teach you to do other traditional Peruvian dishes that use different parts of the organs of the beef or the chicken. This is culinary tradition that was introduced during the times, for example, of the colonial era, when the African slaves were usually given this part of the animals to eat, because usually the meat was only given or separated for the masters, the Spanish men, the white men. So the African slaves in Peru were only given this part of the animal, and that's why lots of Latin American cuisines were born in this stage, in this period of our history in general, thanks to the smart hands of the Afro-Latin Americans, Afro-Peruvians in this case, who started to, condiment this food with the local spices.
Ahora, esta forma es una de las formas que se puede preparar, porque también se puede preparar el hígado apanado, se puede hacer como un lomo saltado, pero con hígado, de la misma manera.
So my brother is mentioning that there are also other ways to eat liver. For example, you can coat it with like a bread, let's say this flour of bread or powder of bread, and it will be very, very good, very succulent. Also, you can use this liver if you are having someone that needs, for example, iron, needs to produce more hemoglobin, and you want it to be in a natural way. So you can prepare a lomo saltado. I also have another class dedicated to lomo saltado, the Peruvian sauté, Peruvian Chinese sauté. So in that lomo saltado, instead of lomo of meat, you can use this, chop in long pieces, and that's it. En tiras, in long pieces, and then add it to your lomo. So this is how fast the liver is done, is ready. So this is just fried with
Siempre le ponemos
salt.
un poquito de agua a la sartén cuando terminamos de freír para el momento de lavarlo, no tener que hacer tanta fuerza, porque con el agua ya.
So immediately after we use the pan, we add a little bit of water, so in that way it's easier to wash it later and not sticks all of this grease to the pan. So now we are going to go to the very last part of this cooking session.
Listo, ahora vamos acá.
And now we go to the quinoa. So the quinoa, as I said in the beginning, is boiled. We use approximately 200 grains of quinoa. This is what we boiled, and this is what it came. And we say it's for more or less 2 servings. If this is solely what you're going to be eating, like no rice, you can maybe even cook for 3 people.
Ahí, por ejemplo, ya está ya el color.
So what we are doing now is just adding the flavor. Remember that the quinoa was already, boiled. So we are just adding everything directly to the pan with no fire. No hay fuego, ¿verdad, Luis Alberto? Todo se hace sin fuego.
Ya estamos ahí terminándolo, ya hemos hecho toda la preparación de lo que es la crema, el atamalado, y solo estamos acá haciendo la mezcla.
We are just doing the mix, as he says. This is the very last part. So we are adding
El culantro.
cilantro, coriander, culantro, no? Say pinch of that. We added already the fried pepper, bell pepper. And you know that everything was condimented already, right? So this is what we added, you know. This is the cream of onion, also the bell pepper, the cilantro, the milk, the bread, the cheese. And this went to be fried, right? And then what we did was mixing this with the quinoa. So easy. You just have to be patient, you know, to blend everything. So now my brother is tasting it. He just added a little bit of salt that you can correct also in this part at the very end. And now we are in the part of serving this. So remember, this is highly, highly nutritious. Let the food be your medicine. And traditionally, food used to be the medicine, the main medicine. Nowadays, we are, you know, like letting our palate to dictate what we should be eating every day. You know, there are delicious meals that are not very healthy, like fried chicken or fried potatoes. You know, it's good every once in a while, but if you have the chance, and we still, by the way, follow this tradition here in Peru of eating our traditional dishes at least a couple of days a week. We are trying to share this local knowledge with the world. I know that we eat too much like potatoes and and rice, but you can take the best. You can take the best to you at home and mix in the way you prefer. So we are starting to serve. My brother is cleaning the plate. It's already looking really good. And remember that we have also something more to add, which is the beef liver. Okay. And now this goes right on top. Muy bien, qué bonito. And the decoration, of course, because he's a professional. Eres un profesional, siempre lo decoras bien. And look at this. Okay. Muy bien. Let's go to the table. And look at this. This is the wonderful dish we have today. Remember that we are trying. Every day we bring a new recipe to give you ideas in on what to do, things that can be at some point a good influence for you, and of course trying the local products, the local recipes, the local knowledge. So hopefully you have learned something today that you can use in your life and that will be beneficial to you and your family. So well, this is it. This is today's meal. Thank you so much for those that were able to watch, for those that were able also to join my YouTube channel, because this event happened live on my Facebook group, Adventures in Lima with Vanessa, where you can get to know lots about Peru, its food, its events, its history. And Possibly you are watching this on one of my channels, one of my social channels. I am also on Facebook, I am on Instagram, and of course on YouTube, and you can find me on Adventuroustravelguide. We, my brother and I, are very happy to have you in this occasion, and we hope, of course, to have you in a next opportunity here in Lima. So, well, thank you so much. And if you can, tomorrow I'm going to be conducting a tour on Hego, and it's going to be about tiradito. This is a Peruvian Japanese dish, but this is going to be a very special tiradito because we're going to teach you with my brother to prepare 3 different creams that go wonderful with the tiradito. So if you can join tomorrow, this is going to be happening in Hego, in the platform of Hego. If you wish to, check my tours in Hego, visit www.hego.com/Vanessa with V and double S. It's going to be wonderful to have you in one of those tours. Well, take care, all the best to you, and until next time. We have lots of surprises for you all, by the way, coming soon. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.